talking everyone really quick about the energy drink, and we were just saying, Manisha was just saying that she knows somebody that has to have 5 a day, right? About 5 a day. I talked to a lady, just to kind of go back, I talked to a lady in Orlando that spends $2.50 to $3 every single day on them. And what did Mark say? Mark said at conference that people will walk in with like their notebooks and they're, like all amped up, and then they're walking in with like 1 or 2 cups from Starbucks. And, I'm not a coffee drinker, but I mean, a lot of the world is, so. So yeah, it's definitely, and I love that he said that they have been working on it and researching it for 3 years. 3 years. So it still is an energy drink, but it's gonna be a lot better of a choice. And I don't know if everyone has seen, it's gonna be $100 retail or $60 loyal customer price for 24 cans. So that breaks down to $2.50. Obviously there's gonna be some shipping. I don't know how they're gonna separate it out. It's gonna be like a big case. Hopefully the shipping won't be through the roof, but so yeah, look for that on March 5th. I think a lot of men especially are gonna really get behind that, and that's gonna be a big deal for them. So, hey, come on in. You can move chairs around by whoever you wanna sit by. So I have been thinking a lot about what I wanted to share with you guys, and there was just so much at conference that, so this was my 3rd conference, attending my 3rd conference, and the first one was amazing because I had just been like on this high of like promoting and like just starting in 2012. I had just promoted to Triple Diamond, and it was like a month after that we got to go to conference, and then they announced these huge good bonuses and everything, and so that conference was amazing. Now, last conference wasn't super amazing for me. I don't know what it was, but it just didn't have a super wow factor for me. But this one was amazing again. I felt like, and Mark didn't really come out and say, he didn't announce that we were $1 billion company. He didn't say we're $1 billion brand. So I know that they would have mentioned that, and they would have said that if that was the case. So I think that 2014, and some of you were blossoming and booming in 2014, April of year, double diamonds in our family. But I think for a lot of us, it's more of a stagnant year, maybe like a learning year, personal growth, development, and kind of just a little bit more even keel rather than like we're really gonna bust it out. And so who felt like, does anyone agree or feel like that? Do you, Daria? Yeah. So I think 2015 though, like it feels different. I felt different. Just the excitement and the passion and everything, it just felt like this huge buildup was there, and I didn't feel that on the last conference. I love conference, but I wasn't really feeling it as much as maybe I wanted to. And so I think what I wanted to share with you guys is mainly about our mindset and really getting our minds right to really make this happen this time. And so I wanted to talk about this idea of when you're thinking about like you're building your business and going for these double good bonuses now, think about this sentence. I want to be positive, but I also want to be realistic with my goals. Is it important to set goals? How important it is to like actually write a goal down and have a goal. Super important, right? But what about that whole thing of saying, but I also want to be realistic? Is that kind of like to me, it kind of drops it down at the end, right?
Yourself.
Like I want to be, okay, there you go. So yeah, but do we say something similar? Like I admit it, I've said something similar like that to myself before. And I actually feel like I say that a lot. I tell Brandon all the time, like, well, I gotta be realistic. And I have just realized when I was like researching and kind of studying what I wanted to talk about today, that I don't want to be realistic. I don't want to be realistic anymore. So I wanted to share how if we have this realistic mindset that we're going to crash and burn. Okay? So think about that again. I want to be positive, but I also want to be realistic. It's just, it is, when we say that, I feel like we're kind of laying out the details and trying to make something happen. And we're already like putting complications. We're already like putting those obstacles out there that are going to sort of prevent us from reaching our goals and what we want to do. So what does being realistic mean? I actually looked it up because I'm just realizing I hate the word more and more ever since I really wanted to just talk about this. So being realistic means that we're going to accept things will be a certain way and we have no power to change them. Like this is just the way that it is. So I looked up realistic and it's saying having or showing a sensible and practical idea of what can be expected or achieved. Well, I personally don't think that my journey so far with It Works has been practical or anything I expected. So I think what has happened to me so far has nothing to do with being realistic. But yet, I myself, I've said that a lot. I said that a lot in 2014, honestly. It also says it's about representing familiar things in a way that is accurate or true to life. Again, it's just like fitting into something that we're trying to do the uncommon here. We're trying to make the uncommon common. And being realistic has nothing to do with it. So I don't want us, I'm taking that out of my vocabulary. I think we can kind of get caught up too in like the fact that we can't control others. We can't control our loyal customers. We can't control our distributors, what they are going to do, if they have the drive that we have. But we can greatly influence. Come on in, late bloomers. Grab some more chairs. Come on in. Everybody's coming in a little bit late. Good to see you all coming. Feel free to get a snack if you want while we're talking. So when we're talking about being realistic, it means that there's a common acceptance to what we deem our reality to actually be. Saying, I just have to accept the status quo. I just have to accept the common experience. To me, I think of average. Like what the average person says is common or is okay or what they're willing to sort of just deal with. So I want you to think about what you're trying to create in your business. And even if we have the belief that it's going to be hard, like I just think we all do this at times. We all kind of get caught in that. So it's what you believe. It's the energy that you're putting out there. Your belief and you're putting yourself out there, I believe you are in charge of creating what you want in your life, but also in your business. You have the power to create whatever reality you want. You don't have to fit in the status quo. You don't have to fit with what the common person, what's socially acceptable. And I actually believe that to be in network marketing, we actually have to accept that people are going to reject us and think we're strange and think that we're weird and think that we are doing something that doesn't make sense. But actually, I actually like that. I actually like being known. I've always liked something more unique. I don't want to fit into a mold. I want to be something outside of the mold. I don't just buy clothes or buy houses or cars. I'm like, no, I don't care what's popular. I don't care what's trendy. I want something unique. I want something special. I want something different. And so our entire universe is a system of creation. It's constant movement. It's constant turnover. It's constant, it's just a system where it's always moving. It's always improving. It's always growing. And we need to align ourselves with that. And we need to turn it over. So when I'm talking about the universe, I'm not talking about like a higher being or God. I'm talking about the actual universe that we live in. So I want you to say in a different way the sentence that we talked about before. I want to be positive about what I want to create, and I know it's going to be uncommon and unrealistic. Okay? That is the mindset that we need to be in. I am going to create different. I am going to create the uncommon. And so Mark Pentecost's quote always comes to me, that at It Works, we make the impossible possible and the uncommon common. Like, that makes so much sense to me. That is the reality I want to live, and I know I can create it, and I know that you guys can too. And it's also okay to say, like, I don't know how it's all going to come together. I don't really know how I'm going to get to double diamond, triple diamond, ambassador diamond, but it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. Like, that's what we want to feel inside. We have to have that expectation that it's really going to come. It's really going to come to us. And actually believe that it's going to happen. I want you guys to ask for what you want. Okay, truly ask for what you want. Whether that's a prayer or just asking the universe to help you create that. Then you're going to be open to receive the inspired action that you're going to need to take to make it happen. Who loves going to restaurants? Anybody like going to restaurants? Anybody actually fascinated with menus? And like reading menus, looking over menus, or anything like that? Okay, a lot of you like restaurants, so maybe we'll just stick with that. I see a couple people like me that kind of like to read menus, and I know some people actually, when they're gathering up the menus, will say, hold on a second, let me read it just a little bit longer. Yeah, so we have a couple people that actually do that. You're going to identify good with this. So the universe and the reality that exists is your reality. You get to write the menu. So I want you to think of yourself as at this restaurant, and that you get to write the menu. And all you're going to do is put in your order and ask for what you want. Okay? Are you going to go into the kitchen and start making it yourself? No, of course not. You are going to wait to be served. It's going to actually come to you if you put in that order and ask for what you want, believing that it's unrealistic and uncommon, but that you still believe it's gonna happen. And think how excited you are when you order something even kind of fancy. Like, what's the plate gonna look like? How is it gonna come out? What is it gonna look like? How is it gonna be delivered? What's it gonna taste like? All the flavors, all that kind of thing. So hopefully you guys are, like, the foodies in the room will understand. In essence, you're creating your reality. You're creating what is gonna be served to you. Okay, you get to write the menu and then order exactly what you want. You are in charge of making your uncommon common. You are. I love this wait to be served idea, and that the payment is gratitude. The more grateful you are in working your business, the more comes to you. That has happened to me so many times. If I have like gotten my paycheck and I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's down a little bit. Or, you know, like, oh, I was really hoping for more. Or, oh, I was one person away from completing my steps to success, or whatever it might be. We need to live with gratitude. I encourage you guys to live in abundance of gratitude every day and be open to creating that uncommon. I actually love when things that happen are unexplainable. Like you've probably all had experiences inside and outside of Works where, like, I don't really know how that happened. I can't really explain that. So I want you to stop going into the kitchen and making your own food. Stop setting the table, okay? I want you to stop taking your own order and ask for what you want and then act with inspired action, okay? And really think about what it's gonna be like to wait to be served. Really think about what that feels like and that anticipation, but you know it. Do you guys ever go to a restaurant and actually order and think they're really not gonna bring it? Of course not. You expect it. You gotta live with that expectation, okay? Live with the expectation. Things are gonna happen with your business that have no logic. They're unexplained. So I asked a couple people that are here. I asked one person that's not here, but I asked Nicole Burdett if she would think about a time when something happened in her business that she couldn't really explain. Something happened unexpectedly, and what happened with that. Want to come up? And then Amy Miller, you're after her.
I love that you're focusing on the not being realistic, because I found myself a lot of times in this business, like, I have this goal and I have this dream and I know what I want, but I'm like, that's really not realistic. So then I like bring myself down. So I love that you asked me that, because so when I promoted to presidential, about 3 weeks before I promoted, I guess it was the month before I promoted, they extended the bonuses, and both my sister and I, she wanted the triple bonus, I wanted the presidential bonus. And they're like, oh, that's so bad, but it felt so far away. At the point that we were at, I was like, I don't even know how that's gonna be possible in a month. And that weekend we went down to Vegas. There was a 1-2-1 mission down there. We went down there. We came back fired up, but we still were like, how are we gonna pull all these people out of our pocket? Like, we had added up what we needed, and I think we needed, it was 18 distributors at that point. And I was like, and so we sat down and we're like, hey, between the two of us, like, we need to find 18 distributors if we want this to happen. Like, we can't rely on anybody else. We just have to make this happen. But to me, like, 18 distributors was like, in a month, that's a lot of people. And so, like, we kind of kept working a little bit more, and then one day all of a sudden I had, 4 different people in one day that I had been talking to for probably like 6 to 8 months. April was one of them. They all decided they were ready to jump in, like all like really in like a 24-hour period. So I was like, oh, that's like one of my rubies to fill, you know, one of those spots. And all of a sudden it just started like escalating from there. And over the 3 weeks, it just kept coming. This was work that I'd put in for, you know, at that point I'd been in for 8 months. And these were people I'd been talking to the whole 8 months that just were kind of like, I don't know, you know. But all of a sudden they were ready to jump in. Was it realistic? No. Like not at all. Like when we looked at it, like I think anybody that was listening to us would have thought that we were crazy. But that was what we wanted. And so we were just trying to push so hard. And I don't even know how it happened really that month. Like it just, like April and I have been talking about it a lot lately. And it's crazy that when you do ask for things and you do claim that, you know, that's what you're going for and that's what your goal is, things fall into place. You might not be able to explain them. You might have no clue where they came from. I mean, I did work hard for those ones that came in, but I didn't do anything that day to make them come back to me. And I can't explain why they did that day and why they did 2 or 3 months earlier than that. But things can happen, and this whole journey, like Michelle says, hasn't been realistic at all. I think I have a lot of friends that still think I'm crazy, and it's okay. I don't care anymore. I used to be the opposite of Michelle, and I didn't want to be the weird one and the different one, and it's still hard for me. But at the same time, I enjoy this, and I have loved the spontaneity of this business and how crazy and different it's been for me and my family. And so it's been kind of fun to err on that side a little bit more and be the different one rather than just kind of follow the crowd. So that kind of,
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't know, Amy.
Make sure you're on that screen there.
I'll step back so I'm not so big on the screen. So last night when I got the text from Michelle, I'm like, hey, whatever. She like wanted me to bear my testimony about the
Whatever.
church. Like I didn't get that. So like so I got the text and I was like, Cody, I don't know what I'm supposed to say. And he gave me an idea, and then I messaged Michelle back and I'm like, hey, give me an idea of what you want so I'm not up there preaching to everybody, and you know. So anyway, so my husband hit it spot on. He's like, well, why don't you talk about the night that you went double diamond? So kind of what happened is my husband and I rodeo. So we were out at a rodeo and, you know, playing and whatever. And as we're driving home, I get a phone call from Nicole, and she goes, hey, did you know that so-and-so is going diamond tonight? And I said, that's not possible. She's a ruby. She's not going diamond tonight. She's like, no, she's going diamond tonight. She just signed 19 loyal customers today, and she's going to, and I'm like, but I already have the emerald on another leg, and I've got my, holy crap, I'm going double diamond tonight from emerald. And I like had this full-on panic attack. I'm like, there's no way. There is no way I'm going. And I didn't believe it myself. And I'm sitting there watching. So we get home, and I'm sitting there watching my e-suite, and everything is like just the numbers, your bonus volume, or your bonus volume. It's just like climbing and climbing. I'm like, holy crap, holy crap, holy crap. So at like, let's see, it was before they did the time change. So it was 10:58. My
9:58.
9:58. My e-suite updates. It's like double diamond, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I just sat there, and I'm like, there's no way that just happened. So I hurried and took a picture of it. I'm like, I have to take a picture so that the corporate doesn't like take that away from me. Because at the time, I went from emerald to double, so I got that diamond bonus. They didn't have the double diamond bonus at the time. And I started screaming like a crazy person, and I'm like, Odie, I just got a $10,000 bonus. And I'm freaking out about it. And he's like, yeah, that's great. You know, that's neat that you got it. We'll never see it. But because he didn't believe in it either, you know, because as society tells us that, oh, yeah, you get a $10,000 bonus. That's neat, but you're never going to see it because it didn't happen on Tuesday at 4 p.m. I mean, it's like doing insurance claims and whatnot. It never works out. Then when I got my first paycheck, he's like, holy crap, I love your job. So it was one of those deals where it just, everything fell into place. And then when we got home from conference, I signed 6 distributors that first night that I got home. And they've been people that I've been talking with for a long time, but it was just crazy that everybody went in all at the same time. And then I've signed 4 more since then of everybody just saying, okay, I'm ready. And I have to laugh because this guy right here has a total cowboy hat on. The owner of it is a TC. He's like, don't point me out. So the owner of that company is one of my really good friends. And for the longest time, she's been using the cranes. She's been using the products and whatever. And I'm like, hey, so you're so good at talking to people. And she keeps referring loyal customers to me and distributors. And so she texted me the other day. She goes, hey, do you want to sponsor an event in the rodeo? What's wrong?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Anyway, she says, do you want to sponsor an event in the rodeo? And by the way, I have another loyal customer for you. And I said, yeah, I would love to sponsor an event in the rodeo. By the way, you should stop building my paycheck and build your own. And she started laughing and she's like, you know, I think you're right. I probably should. And I'm like, stop referring people. I mean, I appreciate it, but build your own paycheck. I'll help you. And this is a girl that I have been working with for almost a year and a half. And she just joined my team. And her and her husband are like gung-ho. And they already run 2 different businesses. So everything just like worked out that I'm going, I don't know how all of this fell together. I'm grateful that it did. And that I hit double diamond by like a fluke in my eyes. I'm going, okay, I like my job because I work hard and it shows. In other companies, you work hard and your business or your boss gets the credit for it. So I don't know if I even got what you wanted.
Yes, that was perfect. I actually got goosebumps listening to both of them talk about those stories. That is so awesome. That's perfect. Cassie's not here. I wanted her to talk about her going to Diamond because that was a crazy, unexplainable night as well. But I'll share mine. So when I was at Triple Diamond at conference and they announced the $50,000 bonus for reaching presidential, I needed a whole new diamond. Like I didn't have a 4th leg going at all. And so when they announced that, I mean, I had like sweat dripping down, like goosebumps, crying, like just, I couldn't stand still. My heart was racing. Just something was telling me like, you're gonna do this. And I'm like thinking, you do realize I don't have any 4th leg started at all. But there was just something. So I had that belief. And I knew it. And actually a girl had signed up on my website, which has never happened before that and never since then, that a random person just goes and signs up as a distributor on your website. She wasn't really random, but I had only met her once. And she went and signed up as a distributor while I was at conference. And I was like, she's gonna be a lucky girl going to Diamond. And so this was, you know, like the middle of January. And then I met, well, Marva contacted me and Lacey contacted me and they joined like towards the end of February. And we still did it in that amount of time of building this diamond. And it was like a mad dash. And I can't explain it. I remember calling Christy or texting her and I'd be like, hey, I need 17 distributors. And then I'd text her, I need 13 distributors. And she's like, she would text me back like, what is happening in your business? I'm like, I don't know, but I love it. I love these unexpected things that are happening. And so I want you guys to really know how much I believe in you. And that if you don't have that strong belief in yourself, lean on mine. When you're working for your bonus till March 31st, think, I mean, I don't know who you can relate to, whether it's me or Mark or Mike or Pam. Think, what would they do? What would they be doing today that I'm not doing right now? I shared a little bit when we had the pizza party at conference, but if you want to be a diamond, if you want to be a double diamond or a triple diamond, whatever you want to be, what do you believe that leader does every day? What do you believe that life looks like? Own it. Become that person. You've got to become who you want to be. And I was scared of Ambassador for a lot of 2013 and some of 2014. But I'm not scared anymore. I believe it. I know it. It's a little scary to say that, but I do believe it. And I do believe that things are aligning and that we can create whatever reality we want. So I wore this shirt today because it's not what the world tells you is reality. It's your It Works reality. So I want you guys to use that hashtag. I want to see that on yours. We used to use this a lot, but use my It Works reality with whatever you're doing. You're blitzing someone, you're rapping someone. Show people what you're doing on Facebook. I love this. We have this girl Melee in New Zealand. And if you guys want to follow her, friend her, she would love it. She is posting, standing next to like her new loyal customer, holding a box of wraps, or a wraps is on their belly, and she's like posting about it. And it like gets me fired up. It gets me like so excited seeing what she's doing. And so it's about that passion and that energy and creating your It Works reality is whatever you want it to be. And then the only other thing that I wanted to do is, and I want to pass these out to everybody. Maybe Colette can help me. I wanted to give you guys not only something to hopefully inspire you and motivate you, but I stayed up. I went to sleep like at 3 o'clock again. There's no sleeping, watching TV, playing games. All these things are not going to get you where you want to be. So I typed up sample messages that you can send to people for potential distributors, for potential loyal customers, different things like that, things that will help you a little bit about presenting. So I want you guys to read this and use it. And I took it from a few Google Hangouts that Christy has done with like Ashley Olive and Ashley Sinclair. So, and a little bit of my own stuff. So I want you guys to use this and let me know what questions you have. I'm here to help any and all of you reach the reality you want to create. And Colette, you're next.
Real quick, while Colette's coming up here, bathrooms are down that hall and to your left, all you women here. And those of you that haven't had a sample of an energy drink, right there on the little piano bench, and little sample cups of the energy drink. So feel free to get one of those and any snacks that you want.
I'm Colette Bowden, Presidential Diamond, and I just wanted to just elaborate just for a second on what Michelle said about it being uncommon or changing your perception a little bit. And I'm going to tell you, for the longest time, I was afraid of the steps to success. And I was afraid, I thought, wow, that's really hard. And we just try to do it every month. That's your goal. And I will be honest with you, I don't think I ever fully did the steps to success until I changed my mindset. So I was always afraid, that's our goal, it's really hard, and I was putting that in my mind that it's something that is hard to do. So that's kind of a negative thought that I was placing. Until Madrid kind of kicked my butt, just a little bit. And she said that as leaders, we have to be leading by example. We need to, and if we want to promote, we need to be doing those steps to success at least once, maybe twice, go for 3. And I thought, okay, But something within me changed, my perception changed. I went from being afraid of it to being excited about it and saying, I'm going to do the steps to success every month before the 15th. I'm going for it and I'm excited about it. It was a challenge to me and I was giving myself a personal goal that I'm going to finish it. And since June of last year, I'm telling you, I got to Presidential Diamond without doing the steps successfully. June of last year, I've done it every single month plus some because I became excited about it and looking forward to who can I add to my chart? Who can I add? Who can I change their lives with the products? Who can I add as a distributor? And I put in pencil, I fill that in before they sign up. So my potential distributors, I usually have 9 or more. My customers, I usually try to double it. And it's always, always full now. I'm so excited because my mindset changed. So when you do put it out there, it becomes what you put out. If you say it's going to be hard, it will be hard. If you say you're going to do it, you will do it. So I'm talking about the energy drink. I'm so excited about this. So excited. So who's all tried it? Okay. And by raise of hand, did you like it? Yeah? I'm going to tell my story. My husband and I, we like energy drinks. Just not because of the energy. We like the taste. We like to experiment. We like different flavors. We love carbonation. And so we would be trying all these different energy drinks just for fun. And when we were dating, we would stay up country dancing really late. So we were always drinking energy drinks. That's just something that we did. And I grew to like them a lot. I could drink an energy drink at 11 o'clock at night though and go straight to bed. So it's not something that I need for energy. But there's been times that I really need something. I really need something for energy and I'll do a double dose of greens and it helps, but sometimes I just wanted something a little bit more. So as soon as Mark said that this is coming out, I was just so excited. When I was promoting to Triple Diamond, it was one of those things like Nicole Burdett said, she needed 18 distributors. I think I might have needed about 16, tons of volume. It looked impossible. And several of my leaders and I, we were working really, really hard. I was working every single night. I was working full time from 8 to 6. And then I would come home and do a party every single night, every night. And I lived on Red Bulls and McDonald's. It was horrible. But that was my diet for at least all of March. That's when I promoted to Triple. Every single night. Just grab it on the go, grab it out of the fridge, and I was out the door. And I remember rapping after that. I remember rapping, and I rapped 100 times. Never felt any of those side effects, never felt the yucky tummy, never got a headache until this time. I got the worst migraine. The worst migraine. I was detoxing those energy drinks at McDonald's, that taurine. It was horrible. And I knew that it was because of that I was feeling those symptoms. So I know how unhealthy it is for you. Also in New Zealand, one of my customers, and I guess their product, V, is their energy drink. It's horrible. It's just so addictive and very, very bad for you. She had horrible side effects coming off of her energy drink. But she did it because she sampled the greens and saw how it could bless her life. And so now, I just think that with this healthy substitute, that we can help people that, like me, were always drinking energy drinks. So what they said was this was 3 years in the making. They had been trying to get this done for 3 years. And after they launched it, one of their competitors, one of their friends said, how on earth did you do that? How did you do that? They want to know. They want to be right with us with the leading products and these healthy substitutes. I was so excited. He said that it's a $37 billion market, an energy drink market. 37 billion. Coke just bought out Monster, which has 60% of the market, which leaves us 15 billion to go and advertise. I am so excited about this. So trying it, I loved it. It was so good. It was so good. It has 80% less blood sugar spiking than the other leading energy drinks. 80% less blood sugar spiking. Spiking causes negative side effects on your heart. Okay? This has vitamin B, and B stands for brain. Vitamin B12 is an energy nutrient. And then B6 is a folic acid, and it's for Heart Smart, which is heart health. It helps support your body's ability to sustain natural energy. That's awesome. So looking at the ingredients, there is blueberry juice, cranberry juice, it's prickly pear. To me, it tastes more like pear and peaches. It's so good. In the ingredients, it says raspberry juice, strawberry juice, cherry juice, on top of all of that. So yes, it has 27 grams of sugar, but it's all of that juice, right? It's that fruit juice that's better for us than the unnatural sugars. So I'm really excited about the energy, the way that I'm going to market this, and I did something for me that was a little scary. I've got a friend of mine that I grew up with as a youth, and then we've been friends on Facebook. And I run into him all the time, just here and there, because we live in the same area. And I pray over my business. I ask to be guided and led to who needs the products and who needs the business as a distributor. And his name kept coming to me, and I'm like, I don't know. You know, he's a plumber. he's this strong guy. He's working out all the time. I don't know. And it just kept coming to me. So I finally just texted him, and I said, hey, dude, I want to sit down and talk with you about my business. It's been a great blessing to me and my family. Plus, we have an energy drink that we're launching March 5th, and I would love to have you on board. Are you open to visiting? And he's like, yeah, sure. I'm like, oh, are you kidding? You know, I still get shocked at how open some people are, the right people are. If they're open to it and they've just been watching you on Facebook, they're going to be open to sitting down and talking with you. But you have to ask, and I would have never known if I didn't just ask. But he is going to be the type of, and I guess I can't put them in a category, but he's one who I can say, push energy drinks. Your guys are gonna need it. And it's a great price. Retail is gonna be $100 for a pack of 24. It's $60 as a loyal customer. And our BV is 50, 40? Okay, 40. That's good. I was expecting it to be as low as like the Greens Chew. So I'm really excited about that. Excellent pricing. 24 cans for $60. Yeah, I'll get it. I'm gonna get it. That's all I have. Did you want me?
Yeah, I want you to talk about like how you're gonna actually be working. You're so good at just asking people like for one-on-ones, for sample parties, like how do you do that? What are you gonna do?
What I'm teaching my team is, when we were over in New Zealand, I was feeling as if I was a brand new distributor again, with the excitement of watching people get these results with the wraps, and they were feeling the excitement. I was like, this is so much fun again. And I think we all I got stuck in Facebook. I got that being comfortable there, messaging people through Facebook. And I vowed not again. And then conference again, they stressed, blitz, wrap, repeat. You cannot try to reinvent the wheel. Get off of Facebook. So what I'm telling my team to do is, you have to have at least one wrap party a week, minimum. If you don't have those, book your own. So I booked my own sample party. I'm doing a sample party next week, and I started messaging a few people. I did not invite everyone on Facebook. I didn't invite 60 people. I invited 15, and I private messaged them saying, I'm having this, I would love to have you come. So I hold sample parties where they can, I still do the party pad, I still do everything the same. They sample the defining gel, they try the greens, they get to try the exfoliating peel on their hand, lifting lip and eye cream, do a selfie. Let's see what it looks like. It's fun. They love it. But then I do health and wellness demos. Same thing, just a different name. But I talk to them. What are your health goals? What do you want to achieve in the next 3 to 6 months? And then when they talk about what they want to achieve, well, what's holding you back? What's the challenge for you to achieve those goals? And I'll have people say, I just love food. I'm lazy. I'm depressed. Well, guess what? That tells me what products to recommend to them. Or wrap parties. We cannot be afraid of those wrap parties. People still have never tried a wrap. I'm doing a party for my team tonight, and the lady at the hotel that's helping me, of course, I'm wearing my gear. I've got my Blitz card. She's asking, what does it pour? And I'm telling her, I'm having this huge party for my team. What do you do? And I explain it. She's never tried a wrap. Okay, she bought 3 wraps on the spot. I sold, so $75 worth of wraps. She wanted to try it first before she became a customer, but I also added her on Facebook. That is what I have to do every time. If I'm out and about and I hand a Blitz card, great, can I add you on Facebook? I'm always doing monthly drawings for free product. And then I add them on Facebook. They're watching you. So my team, they're holding their own parties and then asking others to hold parties for them. Parties, being in front of people, one-on-ones, talking to people, that is the only way that you're going to promote and get these double bonuses. We can, but it's harder to do just off Facebook. This is a relationship business, and when you're sitting in front of someone, they can feel your passion, they can feel your excitement, and you can connect with them on an emotional level and really be sincere with them, and that's when you're going to start changing lives and changing your own.
Well, I just love, when we did the webinar yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
And you talked to New Zealand about the grader.
Yes,
Will you do that just briefly?
yes. Briefly, 20 minutes.
She only had 7, so I'm sure you can. I only had 7.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
I'm getting so much better. I used to be terrified of speaking in public. I would cry just because I had fear. Now I only cry because I feel the emotion. Cami Dempsey on the last day at conference got up there, and I'm just going to read my notes. How many of you joined for something greater? Something bigger than what you already had. You're going to have it. Decide to let go of the fear. Let go of the good to have something greater. What is the good life? What is it? And what does that look like to you? Your good life may be something different than my good life. So what does that look like? You need to really think about what your good life looks like, because that's your dream board. That's what's inside of you, and that's what you're working towards. That becomes your why, and that becomes your motivator when you know what that good life is. Your Facebook is your highlight reel. You only see the good. You'll only see the good on my Facebook, on my highlight reel. You will never see negativity. You will never see my struggles. You won't see me struggling with my husband or with my kids or going through emotional things for myself. You won't see that. But I am human. County Deputy's human. Lori Conway, Michelle, everyone is human. And we all have things that we deal with. But we want you to know that there is a short-term sacrifice for our long-term goals. She said her kids eat a lot of fast food. Nathan and I have had to fight for our marriage. But you've got to change your focus. Instead of saying, oh my goodness, I feel so bad my kids have to eat fast food all the time. I feel so bad that I have to miss out on this soccer game. I feel so bad that I'm not around sitting watching TV with my husband. That's okay, because I know in March when I was promoting for Triple Diamond, I would work a full day and I would walk in the door. My It Works bag was already ready to go by the door. I would walk in, change my shirt, and I looked at him holding little Sam at 6 months old, and I would just be like, I'm sorry. And I would grab my bag and leave. And there was times that he did all the cooking, he did all the cleaning, he did everything. Laundry, shopping, everything. And I just had to look and say, I'm sorry, there's a purpose, there's a reason. And that reason was because I was pushing for that $25,000 bonus. And I finally wanted to quit my day job so that I could be home. And I sacrificed, and others have sacrificed. And now the reward is to be able to quit your job and have more freedom of time and money and time with your husband. So we have to change our perception. If you're working 50 hours a week, you're going to do that for the rest of your life unless you change something now and put in lots of It Works times, lots of parties. You won't have to work a 50-hour work week anymore at a traditional job. So you can do 50 hours a week at a traditional job, or a few meetings at night and conference, and paying to go to One Team, One Mission, or going to Vegas for that One Team, One Mission. It's a few sacrifices to change your life now. To change your perception, you have to change your view. And that's kind of what I was talking about with my steps to success. I changed my perception, which changed the outcome. And she said, a Lamborghini without gas, Lamborghinis are hot. Those are cool looking cars. But without gas, they're useless. Your dream goal, your dream board, your goals, your why are useless without effort, without that sacrifice, without that fuel to get you to your goals. If you want different results, you need to change your pattern. I need to change my pattern. And this could go with anything in life. Diet, exercise, your relationships, It Works. If you want something different, we have to give something different or change something. So stop watching others. Don't play the victim. Don't sit on Facebook. Don't try to recreate the wheel. Don't make your own t-shirts or do things differently than live, rap, repeat. Don't be in management mode. We are just barely in the beginning of our momentum. We still may have 1 to 2 to 3 more years of momentum, of growth in the traditional scale of multi-level network marketing. We're still at the very beginning. Go back to the basics, hold weekly wrap parties of your own, and get other people to hold wrap parties for you. Go back to the steps of success. Leaders are readers. Do your self-development. Listen to books on tape or disc. Listen to motivating speakers. You've got to be learning and blitz, wrap, repeat. So you can watch me, match me, or surpass me. But you can do anything, you can't do everything, but you can do whatever you put your mind to.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paulette. My name's Brandon Tipton. I'm Michelle's husband. Every time. I love It Works, and I love coming and listening to you speak and the friendships that we have. I've shared that I kind of feel like a big brother in this group of you women. And every time I look at you and I hear your struggles and I hear your successes and I hear what's going on, it's just like that big brother feeling. I just want to kind of swoop in and put my arm around you and say, hey, you can do this. Don't give up on yourself. Like, greater things are ahead. And as we listen to different people speak today and talk about it, what comes to my mind and what I hear from every single one of those success stories is, from Nicole Burdett and Amy Miller and from Colette and Michelle and everything, is that it's a defining moment. That was a defining moment in your life. And when these women talked about these moments, you could feel the passion in it. You could see some tears start to tear up as they talked about what it meant for them still to this day to have promoted to those positions a year and a half ago. And so we all have these defining moments in our life. And whether we want to have a defining moment or not, there's certain situations and there's certain events and there's certain things that are placed in front of us, and it is now a crossroad. Like, we're not going straight anymore. We're now going to be going left, or we're going to be going right. And we have the opportunity to make it a good defining moment, or it's going to be a bad defining moment. Like the I wish I coulda, shoulda, woulda moment. One of those roads that you can take is going to lead to that. You will look back on this day with these promotions that just came out, and I promise you that one day some of you here will look back and say, I wish I shoulda, if I only coulda, and all of that. And that's going to be your defining moment. And other of you will look and they'll take the other road. And you're going to make it your defining moment today. And you're going to stand up here and you're going to be saying, this is how I went to diamond. It wasn't possible. This is how I went to double diamond. This is how I went to presidential or ambassador. And you're going to stand up there and you'll tell that story for the rest of your life, because it will define who you are and what it will mean to get that bonus. You will tell that 20 years down the road and say, you know what, we took that money and we paid off our car payments that we felt strapped to. Money doesn't buy happiness, but debt buys misery and it buys pain. And when you can take those bonuses and you can wipe out that debt, that's like getting a key to unlock those chains that you're shackled to. And so I want to read you a story. I'm a huge analogy person. I love stories. This is what feeds me energy-wise and inspires me. And I want to read you a story, and if you've heard it, then enjoy it all over again. And if you haven't, I challenge you to go home and print this story out. And it's called The Countess and the Impossible. And this is a story about a young man that I believe fits in this It Works life of ours. And it is a huge defining moment for this young man in his life. And I believe that the whole course of the story relates to It Works very well. So it starts out, no one in our small Utah town knew where the Countess had come from. Her carefully precise English indicated that she was not a Native American. From the size of her house and staff, we knew she must be wealthy, but she never entertained, and she made it clear that when she was at home and that she was completely capable of anything. Only when she stepped outdoors did she become a public figure. The Countess always carried a cane, not only for support, but as means of chastising any youngster she thought needed disciplining. At one time or another, most of those youngsters in our neighborhood seemed to display that need. By running fast and staying alert, I managed to keep out of her reach. But one day, when I was about 13, as I was shortcutting through her hedge, She got close enough to wrap my head with her stick. "Young man, I want to talk to you," she said. I was expecting a lecture on the evils of trespassing. But as I looked at her half smiling, she seemed to change her mind. "Don't you live in that green house with the yellow tree in the next block?" "Yes, ma'am." "Do you take care of the lawn, water it, mow it?" "Yes, ma'am." "Good. I've lost my gardener. Be at my house Thursday morning at 7, and don't tell me you have something else to do. I've seen you slouching on Thursdays." When the Countess gave an order, it was carried out. I didn't dare not come on Thursday. I went over her whole lawn 3 times with the mower before she was satisfied. And then she had me down on all fours looking for weeds until my knees were as green as the grass. She finally called me up to the porch. "Well, young man, how much do you want for your day's work?" "I don't know, 50 cents maybe." "Is that what you figure you're worth?" "Yes'm, about that." "Well, very well. Here's the 50 cents you say you're worth, and here's the $1.50 I earned for you by pushing you. Now I'm going to tell you something about how you and I are going to work together. There are as many ways to mow a lawn as there are people, and they may be worth anywhere from a penny to $5. Let's say that a $3 job would be just about what you've done today, except that you would have done it all by yourself. A $4 job would be so perfect, you'd have to be something of a fool to spend that much time on a lawn. A $5 lawn is, well, it's impossible. So we'll forget about that now. Each week, I'm going to pay you according to your own evaluation of your work. I left with my $2 richer than I remembered being in my whole life, and determined that I would get the $4 mark out of her next time, but I failed to reach even the $3 mark. My will began to falter the second time around her yard. $2 again. That kind of job puts you right on the edge of being dismissed, young man. Yes'm, but I'll do better next week. And somehow I did. The last time around the lawn, I was exhausted, but I found I could spur myself on. In the exhilaration of the new feeling, I had no hesitation in asking the Countess for $3. Each Thursday for the next few weeks, I became more acquainted with her lawn. Places where the ground was a little high or a little low. Places where it needed to be clipped shorter or left long on the edge to make a more satisfying curve along the garden. Then I became more aware of just what a $4 lawn would consist of. And each week I would resolve to do just that kind of a job. But by the time I had got my $3 or $3.50 mark, I was too tired to even having had the ambition to go beyond this point. "You look like a good, consistent $3.50, ma'am," she would say, as she handed me the money. "I guess so," I would say, too happy at the sight of money to remember that I had shot for something higher. "Well, don't feel too bad," she would comfort me. "After all, there are only a handful of people in the world who could do a $4 job." And her words were a comfort at first, but then without my noticing too much, what was happening? Her comfort became an irritant that made me resolve I could see myself expiring on the lawn with the Countess leaning over me, handing me the $4 with a tear in her eye, begging for my forgiveness for ever thinking that I couldn't do it. It was in the middle of such a fever on a Thursday night, when I was trying to forget the day's defeat and get some sleep, that the truth really hit me so hard that I sat upright, half choking in my excitement. It was the $5 job I had to do, not the $4 one. I had to do the job that nobody could do because it was impossible. I was well acquainted with the difficulties ahead. I had the problem, for example, of doing something about the worm mounds in the lawn. The Countess might not have even noticed them yet. They were small, but in my bare feet, I knew about them and had to do something about it. And I could go on trimming the garden with edges with shears, but I knew that a $5 lawn demanded that I line up each edge exactly with a yardstick and trim it precisely with the edger. And there were only problems that me and my bare feet knew about. I started the next Thursday ironing out the worm mounds with a heavy roller. After 2 hours of that, I was ready to give up for the rest of the day. 9 o'clock in the morning, and my will was already gone. It was only by accident that I discovered how to regain it. Sitting under a walnut tree for a few minutes after finishing the rolling, I surveyed my job. The lawn never looked so good and felt so good under my feet. I was anxious to get on with the job. I followed this renewal secret for the rest of the day, reviewing a few minutes every hour or so to regain my perspective. Between reviews, I mowed 4 times, 2 times lengthwise and 2 times across, until the lawn looked like a green velvet checkerboard. Then I dug around every tree, crumbling the big dirt clods and smoothing the soil with my hands. Then finished with the edger, meticulously lining up each stroke so the effect would be perfectly symmetrical. And I carefully trimmed the grass between the flagstone of the front walk. The shears wore my fingers raw, but the walk never looked better. Well, finally about 8 o'clock that evening, it was all completed. I was so proud. I didn't even feel tired when I went up to the door. Well, what is it today? She asked. $5. I said, $5? You mean $4, don't you? I told you that a $5 lawn was impossible. Oh, no, it isn't. I just did it. Well, young man, the first $5 lawn in the history sure deserves some looking around. We walked about the lawn together in the light of the evening, and even I was overcome by the impossibility of what had been done. Young man, she said, putting a hand on my shoulder, what on earth made you do such a crazy, wonderful thing? I didn't know why, but even if I had, I could not have explained it in the excitement of hearing that I had done it. I think I know, she continued, how you felt when this idea first came into your head. This idea of caring for a lawn that I told you was impossible of accomplishment, it made you feel very happy when it first came, then a little frightened. Am I right? She could see that I was right by the startled look on my face. I know how you felt because the same thing happens to almost everyone. They feel this sudden burst inside them of wanting to do some great thing. They feel a wonderful happiness, but then it passes because they have said, no, I can't do it. It's impossible. Whenever something inside you says it's impossible, remember to take a careful look and see if it isn't God asking you to grow an inch or a foot or a mile, that you may come to a fuller life. Since that time, some 25 years ago, when I have felt myself at the end with nothing before me, suddenly, with the appearance of that word impossible, I have experienced with an unexpected lift, a leap inside me, and know that the only possible way lie through the very middle of impossible. So I love that story. That's a story that inspires me, and I read it often and think about it. There's so many things that people tell us that we can't do because they're impossible. And if we really pay attention to the details and the things that we need to do, we all can do a $5 job. I want all of you to think of the bonus that you guys are going for. I want you to look at Mark Pentecost as the Countess. How would that feel to walk up to him and say, I want that $50,000 bonus? And to know that you were on your hands and knees, till your knees were as green as the grass, clipping it, mowing it, paying attention to all those details and all of that time. It feels good when you put in the time, like Nicole said. She's like, I put in all this time and everything, and when I got done, I didn't even feel like I was tired. The accomplishment of achieving that great thing was more overwhelming than feeling tired. Make this a defining moment for you. When that young man sat up that Thursday night and said it was the $5 job I had to do, not the $4 one, that was his defining moment. He was met with the crossroads at that very moment, and he knew what he was going to have to do to get the $5 job. And he set out and he did it. And that would define that young man for the rest of his life. I challenge you guys to look at the bonuses that you're going after. They're exciting. It's a great thing. But following that excitement can be disappointment. Find a renewal secret that each of you will need. His was sitting under a walnut tree and surveying the job that he had already done. And he said he would do that for a few minutes every hour. You have to find a renewal secret that is going to keep you on line with your goal, and that you can make this a defining moment in your life. And when that time comes, you can stand up in front of Mark and say, this is what kind of job I did. I want to be paid as a diamond, a double, a triple, a presidential, or an ambassador, or a ruby, and say, I deserve those commissions, and I am worthy of that bonus, because this is what I've done. I want you to know that us leaders that are here, not only me and Michelle, but the other leaders that are here in this room, we care about you. We want your success. We want to see it happen. When me and Michelle walked across the stage for the top 100, we sat there backstage and we both just kind of talked to each other for a minute. We said we feel so sad that our team is not here with us. I cannot tell you how much we want this for you guys as well, because we know what it means. Forget the recognition. We could care less about that. But what those bonuses and what that money has meant to us to unlock some of those shackles that have been binding us down has bought some of that freedom. We love you. We care for you. We're taking the time to hold this meeting for a reason. You're taking the time to be here for a reason. Let's make this a defining moment this day and go out there and reach those bonuses with no regrets and hold our heads high. Thanks for coming, everyone.
Hey to everyone watching online. So glad. We have like 20 people watching online too, so I'm really excited. Just want to thank you all. It says a lot that you're here today. You are all in. This is about being all in. You're not going to get where you want to be if you're not all in. So I'm just so grateful for Colette and for Brandon and Nicole and Amy for what they said today. I have felt tons of energy in this room and lots of power. So let's go out there and get it, and we'll see everyone later.